Jarrett, once and for all, were the Dolphins ripped off by the refs?
I think they were, Rick. I was watching the game with my own eyes. Clearly, Ben Roethlisberger fumbled the ball right on the goal line before he crossed the plane, and I saw the Dolphins recover that ball. Now, the rule clearly states that the referees have to have clear visual evidence of who recovers the ball. Obviously, they didn't feel they did, but that's the difference between a 3-3 Dolphins team and a 4-2 Dolphins team.
And maybe the guy who was supposed to look around the official as to who recovered it, maybe he took a playoff. We'll have to see. I guess we do have to get over it. We have no choice.
Right.
Davis, Chad Henne being allowed to play, bold enough to take advantage of a Bengals defense that struggled this season?
Well, their defense has struggled, but I think it gets back to what the Dolphins' offensive identity is, and they're a run-first team. You know, last week against the Steelers, they only had 64 yards rushing. You know, the Bengals' rush defense is not very good. They're giving up 4.5, 5 yards a carry. So I think what you're going to see against the Bengals is going to be Ricky Williams and Ronnie Brown running the ball and Chad Henne throwing. He's done a good job, but I think it is. The Dolphins are a run-first team, and that's what I think we'll see tomorrow.
Yeah, fine, but the guy's got a cannon, so throw it down the field. Jared, Carson Palmer hasn't played well this year, despite throwing for more than 400 yards last week. Can the Dolphins' D have a Halloween feast?
I think they can. Carson Palmer has always thrown for a lot of yards, between 3,000 and 4,000 yards per year, and has all the physical tools to be an elite quarterback. He hasn't taken that step yet because he throws too many interceptions. 86 career picks, 6 interceptions this season to go with just 10 touchdowns. A Dolphins defense that has 17 sacks on the year. If they can get pressure on Palmer, it's going to be a long day for him and the Bengals.
Yeah, I'll be up there on Sunday. Remember, the Bengals also are pretty darn desperate, so you have to factor that one in. Hey, Davis, though you can't talk Bengals without mentioning Terrell Owens and Chad Johnson. Oh, excuse me, Chad Ochocinco. Have you seen their reality show, the T. Ocho Show?
No.
No, what do you mean no?
No,
You're on the panel.
no, I don't watch reality.
No.
I don't watch reality shows.
Add something that's significant then to the question.
Hey, they brought both T.O. T.O.'s got 40 receptions this year, 3 touchdowns. Ochocinco's got 36 receptions. Carson Palmer's got 2 great elite wide receivers. They can throw the ball, but they're not running the ball. And I think, again, getting back to what the Dolphins need to do, to win in the NFL, you've got to be able to run the football, and I think the Dolphins have to do that.
Yeah, interesting stuff, and those guys look really great off the field. But the Bengals are 2-4, so in Cincinnati, people are saying, let's focus on the task at hand. We'll see tomorrow. And here's the Dolphins' schedule for the next 5 weeks. After the Bengals tomorrow, tough road game in Baltimore. Then the Finns come home to face the Titans. Then a Thursday nighter against the Bears. After that, a cross-country jaunt to face the Oakland Raiders.
From the 25-yard line. Favre pulls it back, and then he throws an interception again. And this time it is Desmond Bishop to the end zone.
As the Favre turns, the Brett Favre soap opera takes another twist after last week's loss to the Packers. Favre's streak of 291 consecutive games in jeopardy. Favre's questionable Sunday against the Patriots because of 2 fractures in his ankle. Favre's streak is the longest ever for any position player in the NFL. Cal Ripken Jr., of course, holds the record in baseball, 2,632 consecutive games. Lesser-known streaks are in the NBA and NHL. A.C. Green played in more than 1,000 games in a row, and in the NHL, Doug Jarvis skated in more than 900 consecutive games. Hey, Jarrett, which streak is more impressive? Green, Jarvis? Nah. Favre or Ripken's?
I think it's Favre. I mean, Cal Ripken might have been beamed with a few balls in his day in the batter's box, but Brett Favre, I mean, the guy for the last 17 years has started 16 straight games, every single game every year for the last 17 years, and the streak goes back to 1992. Look at all the injuries he's had to deal with: ankle, elbow, back, hip, groin, knee, finger, arm, head, hamstring. Should I go on? Favre's streak, much more impressive because it's in football.
And of recent vintage, you know, all the texting back and forth to these women may hurt his throwing motion.
Yes.
You never know. Seriously, Davis, the last time Favre missed a start, 92. Boys to Men had the #1 song with The End of the Road. Is it the end of the road for Favre, even if he does play on Sunday?
I think it is, and I think he more or less said that the other day. Whether the streak ends this Sunday, it'll probably end at the end of the year. But it is. It's an unbelievable streak, 291 consecutive games with the beating that he's taken. I think it's over after the end of the year. His body's breaking down. He's 41 years old. Every year, you know, he has injury after injury. So I think this will be it. But I think the main thing that's going to push him away and have him retire are the off-the-field issues that he's undergoing right now with the texting and all that. I think that's going to be the final chapter.
Speaking of pushing viewers away, you're not intending to break out in song, Boys to Men, are you?
No, that's not going to happen. No.
Thank you. Thank you. Jared, Vikings play the Patriots tomorrow. Jets visit Green Bay. Most of the disappointing teams in the NFL are in the NFC. Is it fair to say the NFC is the junior varsity to the AFC's varsity?
Yeah, I think you can say that pretty much. Over in the AFC, you have 5 teams that have 5 wins. Over in the NFC, you just have a couple. Those are the Giants and the Falcons. Meanwhile, on the bottom half, in the NFC, 4 teams with just 1 win, and the Buffalo Bills are the only team in the AFC. They're winless, but everybody else has at least 2 victories. You have the Jets and Patriots both playing NFC underachieving teams this week.
Hey, Davis, hopefully your guy